Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the New York Jets franchise here on Madden 20. So today we're going to be simulating through the remainder of the season. Looking forward, we haven't clinched a playoff spot yet, so hopefully we're able to do that, and maybe, just maybe, we could be in contention for a first round bye depending on how the rest of the season goes for us and the Browns. So today we've got the 5-8 Colts led by Carson Wentz. They've had quite a fall from grace. Last season they played in the AFC Championship, but this year has not been the same. So let's see if we can pick up the win. And we do. It was actually a pretty close win. I want to go ahead and take a look at how the team did. We are currently on a 7-game win streak here. Lance throwing another interception. Sadly, last week against the Chiefs, we ended his perfect streak. But Rodney Anderson, who did end up going up to star development after the Chiefs game, rumbles for 2 touchdowns there. And then Antonio Brown had a great game against us. And Jamison Crowder, Kyle Pitts, all having good games. Calvin Ridley has really slowed down this season, and JaMycal Hasty has been surprisingly good. Honestly, if Rodney Anderson never went up to quick development, I probably would have given JaMycal Hasty the job. And okay, Rodney Anderson ends up getting hurt, actually, so we'll probably end up having to sign another running back. So I think it's probably best if we assign one of these guys to injury reserve, and I think it's going to be Rodney Anderson just because he doesn't mean nearly as much to our overall team performance as, say, Javonte Williams. So now I'm going to go ahead and find a running back to bring in. So I think we're going to end up just going with Peyton Barber. He's not really going to do anything in the receiving game, but just to kind of be that power back, we'll bring him in just for the rest of the season. Some rough injuries there to our running back room, but now we have a big game against the Dolphins, and I'm going to see, did we clinch the playoffs? So now we have officially clinched the playoffs, and it seems like the Browns and Broncos continue to win, though the Broncos slipping a little bit here. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now, so maybe we can try to get back at them. Let's see how this game goes against Tua and the Dolphins. They beat us already earlier in the year. And just like that, we get another win as the Bills also continuing to win here, but a 24-14 win. The defense really stepping up over these last few weeks. Trey Lance throwing more interceptions, not what you want to see, but a nice game from our rushing attack. Quite interesting because Javonte Williams hasn't been here, and it seems like our rushing attack has been better. Overall, a nice day on the ground. You just don't want to see many interceptions from Lance like we've seen these last few weeks. Kayvon Thibodeau continuing his hopefully defensive rookie of the year campaign, and now we take on the Jets, or the Browns, I'm sorry. So they are 13-2, we are 12-3. Instead of playing this game or not playing this game, I'm thinking we just kind of do play the moments. So the Browns come out with an early score, but we strike back. Here it looks like we get a field goal here. The Browns stall out again. Now both offenses kind of stalling out. Maybe we're picking it up here on 3rd down. We can't get anything going. Another field goal. You can't take only field goals against this Browns team. On 3rd and 8, we'll have to punt it away. It just looks like we're really kind of oh, here we go. Maybe we're picking something up. Let's see here. 3rd and inches. I believe in them. And we get a red zone alert. Let's step in and play this one with 50 seconds to go before the half here. But if we can at least knock down this field goal, we can go on a half with a 2-score lead as the Browns come out firing, but they stall out now near the red zone. And here they go. They're driving downfield on us. Are they going to go for it on 4th and 3? They don't get it, but wow, okay, our offense is gone. Looks like they're going for it again. They still can't get it. Wow, our defense is clutching up. The Browns can't seem to get anything going on 3rd and 4 here. I'm going to help us out, see if we can maybe break through here. It seems that our offense hasn't been very good late in this one. We've run the ball 40 times. I don't like that as much, considering we don't even have a good running back in right now. We didn't get the first down there, but I'm thinking this is 4-down territory. So I'm gonna step back in, see if JaMychal Hasty can break through here. I think the line should give us enough blocks, and they do, as we barely get through there. Looks like we're gonna get man coverage on Calvin Ridley here. See if we can take advantage of it though. That safety comes in. Can Ridley not? Okay, he doesn't do anything. There is a flag down, and it's going to be DPI. Wow, that's huge. Okay. So let's see if we get enough time to get this one off. Fire to Rondale Moore. He gets it. That's good. That at least keeps the clock going. The Browns have the 3rd defense in the league. Wow, this team has come a long way here. I think we're just going to let this clock go down to the 2-minute warning for long enough, and looks like we do. Kyle Pitts, he holds on through the contact. That's a first down. Now we don't really even need to run any plays here. I think we've pretty much locked this one up. Let's see if we can score here. No fumbles. I'm gonna set ball carrier to conservative here. I don't want any fumbles down here, because we're gonna try to see if we can pound the rock, get it in here. Just keep draining this clock, honestly. See if Hasty can get it in. And he does. JaMychal Hasty with some powerful running there. That's the touchdown we needed, as it looks like we'll send the Browns home. This defense stepped up for us today. Our offense really wasn't getting it done. The game wants us to go for 2. There's only a minute left in this game. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to take our extra point here. As for whatever reason, Kevin Stefanski and EA teamed up to waste their timeouts after a 7-minute drive by this Jets team. Now we get to see the man himself, Baker Mayfield. He's come a long way as far as his development is concerned in this series, so let's see how he does in crunch time when they need him the most here. And he gets taken down, and it's a fumble! Picked up by Thibodeau! Touchdown Jets! Wow, okay. I'm so sorry for that much excitement. I'm never that emotional on this channel. This Jets defense has been so good all day, and they make an absolute statement play there, not only against this Browns team, but just for everybody watching at home, as this game was played in that afternoon window. As Fairbird misses the PAT, we'll just blame that on the wind. However, this matchup, I don't think this will be the final time we see Baker Mayfield and the Browns here, as we'll probably see them again in the playoffs. It was a good, clean game for Trey Lance. JaMychal Hasty with a, decent game for the backup. Trey Lance running around doing his thing. Looking at the receivers, Jamison Crowder, another good game. Calvin Ridley, quite a quiet day at the office, but regardless, it was a good matchup. Let's see how this ends up for the standings. And we do not. We get to skip out on the matchups, as we'll see what happens. As there it is, lock it in. Both New York teams end up clinching first-round buys and home field advantage throughout the entirety of the playoffs. You love to see it. But let's go ahead and check out the stats here. Trey Lance, he was great. A little bit more, interceptions down the stretch and in the early part of the season, but he was great. The offense definitely did slow down a little bit towards the end, but the defense stepped up in its place. The rushing attack was really quiet this season, but a lot of that just goes back to the fact that we lost Javonte Williams early, and Jamison Crowder sadly finishes 4 yards short of 1,000. Kyle Pitts with a great year. He's been kind of under the radar. I know I don't talk about him much, but he's just been a good, stable player for us. I love what this receiving core has turned into. And then looking at the defense, Kay Thibodeau there with 14.5 sacks. Romeo Okwara, 6.5. Bud Dupree, 7.5. Just a great defensive unit overall. I know we only had 2 interceptions on the season, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it with how good our defensive line is. Tutu Atwell didn't get another touchdown for us, so that's a disappointment. We had the best offense in the league. Let's go ahead and look at the yearly awards. So despite the better record and beating the Bills twice, Josh Allen wins MVP over Trey Lance. but Robert Saleh finally gets credited with a Coach of the Year, arguably a back-to-back Coach of the Year winner here. But Trey Lance, though, will get Offensive Player of the Year. That's what you love to see. Sadly, we don't get Defensive Player of the Year. Let's look at the Rookies of the Year. That's no surprise, honestly. But Kay Thibodeau there on the Defensive Player of the Year. You love to see it. Josh Allen wins Best Quarterback. Nothing for Best Running Back. Sadly, it seems like, Calvin Ridley just lost Best Wide Receiver just with how much his production really slowed down. So shout out to Tyreek Hill. Best Offensive Lineman, Jason Kelce gets up there. He helped turn around this unit, but all you see there is just a bunch of Browns offensive linemen. And that's really what we're going to be having to deal with here. Best Defensive Lineman, Kay Thibodeau. And I'm just kind of scrolling through the awards more for the sake of showing them off here. So now let's go ahead and look at the NFC as Russ gets Offensive Player of the Year. Looking around at some of the rest of the guys, the Giants, they just had an insane year. I don't even know who the Giants quarterback was down the stretch, but shout out to Desmond Ridder as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't miss a step without Tom Brady. I think they even made the playoffs, so good for them. Spencer Rattler leads Washington back into the playoffs, and there he is, JT Daniels. Him and Mac Jones have been competing for the starting spot all season long, and somehow out of that, the Giants went 13-3, so quite an interesting outcome here. And then looking at Best Running Back, Saquon reminding everyone how good he is. Golden Tate stays with the Giants and does well. Overall, nothing too crazy here. A lot of 7-9 teams. And then Khalil Mack wins Best Linebacker, even though him and Eric Kendricks shouldn't be in the same conversation. Shout out Jair Alexander. Taylor Rapp for the Cowboys. Cowboys made a big trade with the Rams to get him. Seems that paid off. I haven't talked about him much, but Justin Fields brings the Panthers into the playoffs after a terrible rookie season. He bounces back. And then the Bills and the Texans. So it'll be interesting to see if we have to play the Bills again next week. Justin Fields, he really slowed down. I remember him doing a lot better earlier in the season. I checked in, but it seems like this team just kind of made their way into the playoffs. I mean, still, you don't hate showing up in the playoffs, as Dante Jackson with 5 interceptions, a good year for him. And then one last player I wanted to go over in Justin Fields' division is Sam Darnold, as he had an awful season. So the Saints, after paying Darnold for what was a good 2021, he just responds with a terrible year. And looking at his contract, the Saints, I mean, for a quarterback, that's not a bad contract, but considering how bad Darnold was, unless he begins to progress, that is looking like a terrible deal that the Saints are locked into. So it doesn't seem like good years are ahead for the Saints after Drew Brees. They did pick up Teddy Bridgewater, however, as he was released from the Carolina Panthers. Didn't get too many opportunities, and he's only on a 1-year deal, so it'll be interesting to see if they can bring him back. Let's go ahead and see who we're going to be taking on in the divisional playoffs here, as the Texans end up beating Josh Allen and the Bills. So the league MVP gets bounced, and Justin Fields leads the upset over the Seahawks, as you can see there. So let's go ahead and look at the playoff schedule. So we have the Texans, the Panthers, and Justin Fields. Let's see if they can get another big upset over the Giants. The Broncos and the Browns, arguably the 2 best teams in the NFL. And then the Falcons, so Zach Wilson going up against Aaron Rodgers. That is going to be a fun matchup to see there. So overall, some good matchups. So in the next episode, we'll go ahead and play these Texans. So thank you all for watching. Again, with all of these live commentary videos, I apologize if some of the edits and cuts are a little awkward here. But again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.